welcome to Grayscale. I'm going to talk about and paint deciduous trees, which is any tree that does not look like a pine tree. Alright, I'm going to paint some that are quite a distance away in the background. Then I'll go through a few types of deciduous trees that you can either group together or have stand alone that will be in the foreground. So don't worry about the clouds or anything. That's just some little background for you just to, kind of get a picture of what I'm talking about. This is just a mixture of phthalo green and cad red medium. Makes up brown with a little on the red side. Just a base color for the grass and for the larger trees. Okay, we'll go right on to it. Only working with the two colors for the trees in the background. Okay. Now, when you put the trees in the background, okay, it's really your choice to how far away you want those trees to be. I'm just tapping in some color. It'd be kind of a dark maroon. You want a really dark color. I'm going to tend to stay away from black. Alright. But when you see me put the colors of the trees in, you'll see what I'm talking about. Straight pounce. And I'm going to just start maybe with the height of the tree. Alright. So we'll put them in there like that. Let's start with the framework of the tops of the trees. Palette knife and just scratch in a few trees, put in a few up here, and put in some more, just wherever you see fit. Much like that. It doesn't take much effort to do it. Alright. And the darker of a contrast you have, the more set in it will appear. Sometimes you can even leave it like that if you choose to. I don't choose to. I'm going to add a little green in there. A couple layers of green, as a matter of fact. Because right now, after you lay in your foundation dark color, alright, I'm just cleaning off the brush here. After you lay in your foundation dark color, you want to lay in a nice foundation of green. I'm going to take a brush. I'm looking for a brush that's been a little beat up and worn. And I'm pretty sure just about every painter has something like that. Instead of using a solid green, I got blue on my palette, so I'm going to just use this yellow. And we'll have different hues of green for that. And while I'm thinking of it, and while it's on my mind, I'm going to put some white, just a touch of white, on one corner of my palette. Just titanium white for the highlight. The highlights won't be completely white, it'll be with a little green in it. But right now I just got some cad yellow. So I got cad yellow, cad red medium, ultramarine blue, and titanium white. So I'm going to mix in a little bit of yellow into this blue. Gives me a deep green. These are kind of far away back there, so I'm pouncing it and I'm spreading the bristles. So pounce, bristles, looking kind of crazy like that. Alright. We got the sunlight coming from my vantage point anyway. It's flipped if you're looking at it. It's the upper right. It'll be the upper left to you. Alright. So let's zoom in a little bit. I want to show you just the trees here. And just Lower that just a tad. There. Okie dokie. Now, I don't want to get rid of some of that yellow in there peeking through. So I am going to put a little bit of the green over this. I'm getting some more blues, some more yellows. And we're going to cover. You don't want to destroy all your darks, but we're going to coat a lot of this with the green. Into the trees itself. And you just keep going forward. And put some down below the tape also. It'll give the hint of some dark bushes down there. Okay. Mixing in some more yellow, some more blue. And I'm going to just keep it moving. As we start to lighten up the green, I'm going to add a little water to loosen up the paint. A thin paint will stick to a thicker paint, especially if it was still wet. This is acrylic paint, so it tends to dry rather quickly. But you don't need to put it on as thick. Getting some more yellow, touch more blue. And we're going to continue on. You don't have to be so designy on this part, you just want to spread some of the green on. And with the green in there, you see I still got some of the darks. You still see the deep green. Alright, and that's about it for that. Alright, now we're going to lighten it up just a little bit. So I'm using a little yellow mixed in with the green and a touch of white. Alright, and I'm going to dip my brush into some water to loosen up that paint. You don't need too much. Now with the titanium white, we do know that titanium white excuse me, is very opaque, so choose carefully. Okay, from my vantage point, it's the upper right. It's coming down, the sunlight. It's the upper left for you. And so you're going to, in a circular motions, try to keep the roundness on one side, but keep it round. And I don't want to destroy all the yellow. So we're going to tap in some lighter greens, but still keep it in a kind of circular motion. Put some down here for the bushes. And keep it aiming toward the right or the left, whatever direction you want your sunlight to appear from. Now in here I see a little gap. I can have some coming down kind of strong and around. I leave that dark and go around up here. Do the same thing, like a little canopy up here. And put some down in there. Okay. Gotta have a batch of darkness in there somewhere. Same thing in here. Maybe you have some light peeking there, coming toward the front, and maybe a little bit of baby. So give it like some trees are further back in the woods back there. Something like that. So deciduous trees pretty much groups of leaves that are grouped together. Alright. I'm going to rinse off the brush. Let's go for some strong highlight. Now I'm using nothing but titanium white and the yellow. And I'm going to get some water, thin this out even more. Because all you need is a really light touch for this. Nothing but white and yellow. Okay. And this is just used for the tips of the trees, the very tippy top parts of the trees, that catching the most of the light. Okay, you can have a couple there, but mainly you want them on the top, coming around there, some for the bushes down there, some here. Very light touch. You don't want to destroy some of your previous work. Alright? So the lighter the color, the less you need to use, the more sporadic in spots. You still maintain the roundness of your trees. Much like that. Okay. That color, once it dries, it'll seep in a little bit and it'll appear. Put a couple of them here. Remember, this tree line will be a lot sharper once I pull the tape off. Okay, something like that. All right. Not too hard to do. The rattier the brush, the better the effect. Okay. So these are just trees in a far off distance. Okay. So let's take this tape off. You'll see a very sharp horizon line. Okay. Like so. There you go. Pretty harmless, right? So let's pull back just a little bit. And there you have it. Alright. Deciduous trees. In the background, you have your base color, then you have your main tree color, and then you got your highlights on top of that. Plus I got the highlights kind of matching the glow that's back here. Alright. Same thing would apply for bushes also. This method, they would just be grouped larger. Alright, it's all in scale and relation. Okay, to whatever you're painting, your subject matter. Either these are trees in the distance, or they can just be hedge bushes. Either one. Okay, obviously hedge bushes don't have little trunks sticking up off the ground, but you know exactly what I'm getting at, what I'm talking about. If you want to make your hedges a little stronger, I'm just going to take a number 6 round. I'm going to get some little bit of water here. I'll put this brush down, and let's say I'll mix in a little bit of the blue or the yellow and white here. Just a little bit, maybe a little more white, make it a little more opaque. Still bright, still got a tinge of yellow in it. Maybe you want to strengthen a few of these trunks in here, if that's what you wish. Or you can put some up in here. You can strengthen a few, make some a little crooked, bring some up in there. Maybe some in there, coming down. That's all I'm doing. It's just strengthening some of the trunks. Maybe you have some peeking around here. Have them come in different sizes, some thick, some thin. Maybe one in here, one in there. All up to you. I have a couple in there. It depends on you how detailed you want this thing to be. Something like that. Alright. Just going to clean off this brush real quick. And let's place this brush somewhere where I can easily get to it here. Alright. Now I'm going to let this dry a little bit. We'll come back and I'll put the grass in real quick. Nice little patch of grass. And then we'll start with different varieties of deciduous trees, so I'll be right back. Alright, we're back. I had to put a little more yellow in the mix here. I'm going to get, I just set that brush down somewhere here. I'm going to get another brush, and if I find where I placed it, hope I didn't take it with me, because I surely cannot find it after I know I just put it down somewhere in my brush rack. If not, I'll just use another one. It's no big deal. Guess I'll be using another one. I'll just use this one. I'm going to put some grass down really quick. Nothing special, really. phthalo blue and some yellow. I'm just going to tap in some grass. Let's get some more phthalo blue. Not phthalo, it's ultramarine blue. I think I'm going to end up using phthalo blue. I think that's the one I picked. Yep, I sure did. I'm going to use some phthalo blue. Phthalo blue is a deeper, darker blue. Okay. And I'm going to just use this. It was nearest me, and that's what I got. So I'm going to use just a slight touch of the phthalo blue if it is really strong blue. Get some more yellow. And I'm going to dip the bristles of my brush in some water just to loosen it up just a little bit. Only need a little bit. I'm not really going to go in depth and really too crazy with the grass. I just need something just to lay down here for grass. Okay. And I'm just dipping in to my Cad Red Medium phthalo blue. It makes a deep violet color. Okay. No green at all used here. Let's put a certain type of tree I'll put in here. Let's put him, we're going to put him right here and go straight up, right around there. Okay, so this is just his trunk, nothing special, just somewhere just to place this guy. I wish I could tell you what type of tree this is, it just can't come to my mind right now. But this type of tree, a little bit of the trunk does show, but the leaves are upward, like so. They come rounded out, and they slowly come to a nice little point, like so. The most important part of doing the tree is the outside shape. And it comes to like a point like that. Okay. Not really concerned about any of this in here because it just gets covered in like that. It's the outside shape right in there what you're really concerned about. Anything other details come within the highlighting and the shading. But you got one that goes in there like that. The trunk right about here. Okay. But that's one variety of tree. The other one, the more of the typical trees that you're more accustomed to seeing. Okay, I'm just getting a little more red here. Deepen this color. No water, no shampoo, just a raw paint. Let's put this guy, let's have him come out here. Make him a little thick. He's going to come out this way. And I'll have him have a branch, just branching off out that way. This trunk is going to be a little thicker. Just pressing down. Maybe come off the page there. And have him have a nice little beginning of a root coming, or root, depending on what part of the country you're from. Coming out that way. Let's have it splay out a little further. Something like that. Make them a bigger tree. Let's get that trunk a little straighter than that there. Pretty thick trunk. I'm getting some more phthalo blue, a little bit more red. Just stirring it up in here. A little more phthalo blue, even that out. I'm just using the pure raw paint out the tube. Something like that. Let's have a branch come out this way. Thicker branch. Like so. Thicken that branch out and then it gets thinner. I'm going to make my flat brush a nice chisel and we'll have a branch shoot off here. Like that. You can have them in a Y formation. so. Same thing this guy here, have it come up and just a bunch of Y's going all over the place. Alright, just getting some more paint. Let's have one trickle that way and have a little friend come down like that and come around. Okay, now let's have one thick one come out here like that. Have it just V and Y and spread in any kind of direction. Alright. Something like that, that's cool. But you can see pretty much what I'm talking about. Probably a little bit better if I'd have brung this out a little more, huh? There, let's even that out. Like that guy. Okay, pretty much like that. Basic framework to one of your trees. Alright. That does. We got plenty of dark in here. So let's play around with maybe some deep grass up around in here. I just don't want to get waste all my paint, so let's give him a little shadow in here. We'll give him a little deep shadow up in there. Same thing with this fella. I'm just gonna put him a little shadow in here. And I'm gonna tap the brush because I got plenty of color. This all makes sense to you. I'm just making shadows of the leaves that will soon be covering around this guy. It's a bigger tree. You can have some of that come around this way. We'll highlight some of the bark of the tree in a few seconds here. But I'm just giving this dude some, you can even give the impression of grass springing up here and there. Quick upward strokes, something like that. All in there. We'll highlight some of this stuff. Go back over some of this stuff. So don't worry about all of that. All in here can be a little darker. This makes good base for bushes and such also. Okay, let's rinse off this flat. And dry it off. So let's move on to putting some leaves in this guy. Well, before I do that, let's talk about highlights with the bark and such. Okay, adjust my camera so I can see it. This great. I touched the white. Hold on. Let me clean my thumb off. Let's zoom in a little bit on this big fellow. Let's turn her around. Show you at least that much. Alright, let's get to some of this bark. You can use either a palette knife or you can use a flat brush. I'll do it with the flat brush. I do have, this is nothing but the basic groundwork, the foundation of the tree. Trees aren't really gray, they're kind of on the, like, almost on a brown side a little bit. So what I'll do is I'll use a little bit of red, a little bit of red and blue, put some yellow in there and then more white. It gives me the kind of a deep bark that I'm kind of aiming for here. And a little more yellow. There we go. I'm gonna almost kind of dry brush it on. The brush flat. See the color kind of flat on the brush. Either use the side or you can use, yeah, I would prefer to use the side. And just lightly go on over this guy, just like so. And and come and curve on around. Let the paint break. The gnarlier you have your tree, the better. Doesn't take too much. So this is say, just like the leaves, that this color I'm using is your the previous color, the dark color, your foundation, the base color. And you put the foundation of the bark itself on your tree. If I wanted it brighter, and I would have used white, which would have graded just a lighter form of gray. I did use plenty of white now. Dipping in a little bit into the red and the yellow, a little bit into the blue. I still want some of my base color. Then now I'm gonna put white on top of that. So I'm mixing all that together. Now I'm gonna put white on there. It gives me a light gray, much lighter than what you see previously put on this tree. And we're gonna go and do the same exact thing. But I'm gonna really strongly highlight the edge and that little curve for the trunk where it goes into the ground a little bit. I'm not going to do the whole thing, mainly on one side of the tree. You want the light kind of color. You even lighten up and you go over the part that might be covered in branches. It might not all be covered in there. Okay. But that's basically what I'm doing, going over one side. And one side only. I'm going to use nothing but pure white. That will be the final one I will use on this tree. And I'm using the corner of the brush just on certain highlights. Have that come out like that. And maybe just loop around and come on out like so. Getting a little more pure white and just highlighting certain areas. Like I say, you might not even see all of this, but you may in certain, all in the way you put your bushes. I'll show you that in a second here. And right up in there, maybe a couple of them scooting around in that side there. Something on the side up in here. Let's touch this just a tiny bit, maybe a couple in that one there. Or if you don't want a line, you can just put a quick stroke. So it gives you a little roundness in there. Alright. So we get to highlight this and I'll add some bushes of that one. This tree, the bigger one, is obviously a little closer. So you can define your leaves a little better if you would like. Alright. Let's highlight this guy here first. Same little ratty toe up brush. Alright, so we're going to aim the camera. This way. Let's zoom in just a little bit on that guy. So let's highlight that guy. Let me get a little more yellow here. I'll mix this in with the blue, and I got white on here, so I just need the yellow. Just a little dot of yellow will do. Alright, let's go for the secondary. Actually, it would be the main green color actually for this guy. So a little bit of blue mixed in with the yellow, get a nice little deep green, and let's get to having a little fun. The branches are in an upward circle, it's like a semicircle upward direction. Highlight obviously is coming from my vantage point, the right side. And I am going to add a curve with this guy. Even on this side, I'm going to put little leaves on this side. But as you can see, I'm going in a semicircle direction. Alright. Little bits of the highlight color is coming through. That's fine. Now I'm going to go to the highlight. I'm just adding a little more yellow to the base color. Okay. And we're going to just kind of frame out the tree a little bit. Don't lose sight of the angle of your tree. Have it go over some of the trunk. All in your preference, really. And do a little bit more, a little bit on this side, not much on the other side though. Now I'm going to use white, mixing it in with the color I already have on my brush. Okay. A little more green there. I'm going to add a touch of water just to loosen up the brightest that I'm going to put on here. And I'm just going to lightly touch far in edge. Turn the brush around. Maybe you don't like the way that pattern's going. And right toward the top, just slight touches. You have some coming around. Like so. Take some of that same some of that color from the ready brush and stroke upward in little patches here and there. Just add a little highlight to some of your grasses. Okay. Even with this guy here, if you want to add a couple of streaks of highlight, upward direction, go right into that dark. It doesn't have to all be highlighted, just in little few places here and there. I'm using this just the side. And some out here a little bit. Have it catch. I'm going to flatten the brush out a little bit. And put a couple of light touches just on the horizon back there. And just a tap, like so. You see I got to make little patches. You can do the same type of patches with the dark, and you can mix it in there a little more gently than what I'm doing right now. But you'll see, if I can go back over this with the dark color. Maybe something back there. I can smooth all that out with the dark color. Just cleaning off the brush. Matter of fact, let's do some of that now. Some of that red, some of that blue. In the same way you see me do it, just pat away. So you get rid of some of that harsh edge back there. Just clean it up a little bit. And maybe a nice little dark patch right in there. Mainly back down in here, get rid of some of all that, just to clean it up a little bit. And now, just to play around, I'm going to use a little bit of white with that dark. And just give some backlit grass a little bit back here. Just a little bit behind the tree here. Matter of fact, if I want that a little deeper, a little darker, and I do, it will get darker as it dries. And let's put some here in the corner. Maybe some around in here, underneath. Right up in there. Make some in there, especially up in here. Okay. I don't want to go too far up with it. Just a little bit in there, like so. Just gives a little interest to your work. Alright. I also forgot to pan this out. Look a little bit like that. Sorry about that. Alright. And well, while I'm at it, why let the fun in there, right? I'm going to take the same brush, I'm dipping it into red. I doubt if I'll use a lot of, I'll just use this red. And I'll make a little mess here, but I'm going to dip the red into the tiniest bit of water, just to loosen it up a bit. And I'll flick it with my finger. I'll show you here. I'll put little wildflowers in here. Just a little patch here and there. I just use my finger and just aim it right now. I'm gonna need a little white. It's gonna be a little looser because you cannot see it. Just the tiniest bit of white I'll use, and obviously I'm gonna need a little more water. And let's see if that'll work. It won't work with this brush. Yes, it will. It doesn't do it hard enough. Put some red patches in there. I just don't want it to go all over the place. So the closer you are, I wasn't close enough. And maybe a couple here. So it looks like little patches of red flower here and there. Something like that. I'll rinse it off. And then we'll get to the leaves on the other deciduous tree. Let's get me a towel. I look like I cut myself here. There we go. Okay. Don't know if you're able to see some of those red specks. Let's zoom that in a little bit. I gotta loosen up this camera. Hold on 1 second. There we go. That's a lot better. Just loosen this thing up here so you'll be able to see it. I don't know if you should be able to see any of the specks or not, but I got them in there. They're all over. They're slightly above here, but they are in there. You should be able to see them. Okay. And we'll zoom out a little bit here. And zoom out a little bit more. Let's go up above, right about here. Let's tighten this up a little bit. And let's tighten that back up just a little. Doesn't move all crazy on me. Let's give it a quick zoom right about there. Let's raise it up a bit. Let's put some leaves in there. I am going to use, I have to get some more, wait a minute. Phthalo blue. Need a nice dark mix. So, phthalo blue. A little cat red. I got enough white. I just need a little more yellow, maybe. Just a little more yellow for the highlight. Okay, that should be enough for the finishing of this. Okie dokie. a larger brush. I'm using a number 19 round. Or is it 10? It's a number 10 round brush. I am going to mix some more dark color, red, the cat red, phthalo blue. Nice maroon color. Just need a deep color. Pouncing on the brush opens up, displays up the bristles a little bit. Okay. Your deciduous leaves should be of an interesting yet still rounded bodied kind of pattern. Have them splayed out a little bit. You get interesting shapes and such. So it all depends on how you want your tree to look. This is nothing but pure paint. It's on pretty thick. Alright. As we go further out, then I'll give it a push. I'll have it come splaying out there. Believe it or not, I need more red. Incredible. Sorry about that. Let's get a lot more red. Really put it on there. I'm in the habit of always closing the caps on my brush, my paints rather, because I had a bad habit of just leaving those caps open. That's not a good idea. Bad for business. Trust me, don't do it. Okay, a little more phthalo blue. Now we're good. Using paint straight out the tube, not adding any water, because I kind of want this very dark. As I'm getting the dark parts on there, I'm going even into the bark itself. Alright, just cover that corner up. But I'm leaving little gaps in places. Okay. Come down here and give a little push, especially around the outside areas. You can make your trees, the leaves, as large as you want. Because you're not really exaggerating. Some trees, leaves go quite a ways out there. Even if you have to cut into your other tree. You know, branches kind of splay all over the place. The older the tree, the bigger the tree, the more branches, the more leaves. Not hard math, right? Let's have some of these guys going the other direction down here. And come up around the other side of this guy. Something like so. So let's make him kind of large. Let's put that kind of dark up top. Make him a big guy. I still want him a little rounded. So let's bulk him out a little bit. Let's cover some of that up with a little dark there too. Much like that. Very large tree. Okay. That is, let's pull back a little. Pretty much what I want. Now I'm going to take the rest of my dark, the rest of my red, mix it in. Let's pull back, no, instead of pulling back, let's just drop downward. Let's put a bush in there somewhere. Right about maybe, let's tap one in right in here. So we got a bush hanging around here, going on the other side. It would be a nice sized bush. Go on the other side of them. Right in there. And let's put a bush probably in this corner. Nice size one right in here, about right in there. I don't care what's going on inside of your bush. It's the outside shape you want to be kind of interesting. So we got one nice one right in here. Alright. Let's have him overlap a little bit. So you got one here, one here. Maybe one bush getting swallowed up right in there, somewhere in there. That should be fine. Okay, now that I've done that, let us add some yellow to this mix. See what I got here if I add this yellow and just a slight touch of white. Gives me a kind of a deep, sickly looking green, almost like an olive green. I'm going to add a little water to this. Got to loosen up the paint a little. Have it flow. Same brush. Okay. Remember where the light source is coming from. I'm going to do the bushes first. Alright. So, look. Now if you're scared and you don't know what pattern this color is going to take with your bush, use the side of your tape. Can you see it from the top? No, I'll do it over here. Just look at it and see what pattern it takes. Very light touch though, like so. Very light. I kind of like it, and so we'll use that. Just touch, slight touch, and go in a round direction with them. Give yourself a nice dark gap in between, so it looks like a group of leaves of sorts. Alright, even here, even though your bush is slightly off the page, it's okay. Most of your strong highlights will form on the same direction of the sun. Okay, and remember to give yourself some dark in between. That gives you a little sense of depth. Alright, let's put a couple right in there. Just like so. Can you see it? Yeah, you should be able to see it. Let's aim downward. You should be able to see that. It is kind of dark. The color dries. It sets in there pretty good. Alright, let's add some to this guy right in here. And a little bit in here. Now we're going to go lighter. I'm going to rinse this brush off. Get rid of some of that drab color. It does. It looks like a deep olive green. Okay. Let's get into my yellow. I'm mixing it right into the dark palette I had before, and some white. Okay. Same direction. And we're going to touch the tip. Let's do it this way. Well, let me get some water in this. Definitely have to loosen this color. Because remember, white is opaque. You loosen it up a little bit. And you're going to do a slight touch. The lightest touch. And keep it round. I don't like that. I'm going to correct that. I don't like it. But let's go. I'm going to move on. There. I'm going to correct that spot. I don't care for it. Some you can touch a little harder than others. I'm turning the brush back around. Just the lightest touch. You don't need much. You kind of want to outline with the put some in here too. You just want to outline a little bit. I don't like those, so I'm going to get some more dark and correct that. Actually, I won't need it to be dark. I could just use water and wipe it right off. I'll show you that with the tissue. Say you don't, there's a patch you don't like, which is that crap right there. Touch it, get rid of it. In spots, let's tap it and tell it go bye-bye. I didn't like it, so. And that's how you get rid of that. Just like that. Okay, I'm trying to see anything else. Mainly it's the deciduous trees I wanted to show you the example of. So let's get right back to that. Get a little more yellow. Rest of the white. I'm just tapping in, going in a direction, certain direction anyway. And right around where you'll see, and don't be shy about turning your brush around. You see the pattern that some of these are taking. You don't have to go to the edge on everything. The sunlight hits different leaves at different vantage points. Okay. Some in here. It looks like it's coming out of nowhere. I'm going to leave the top a little dark, so I'll just highlight the bottom rim of the trees itself. Going in another direction, just tapping. Underneath, I'll do some underneath back here. So like touching the back end of the tree. Maybe it'll touch it, tap there. Right there. Maybe a couple hanging around in there. But I'll keep this pretty dark in there. And if you want, you can brighten it up even more for just the really the tip top areas. Not all of it. Just pick and choose where you want them to come out the furthest. And that should be really about it. Maybe this edge right in there. Maybe play around with just a tiny bit in here. Maybe a little bit in there. The tiniest bit in certain areas. Like that. Okie dokie. I think that would be about it for this one. If you have any questions, let me know. Just clean off this brush here. Dry it off real quick. There we go. I put them through their paces. I do. They still maintain their shape when you're done. Alright. So let's totally look at this. Okay, and let's zoom in a little bit there. Hopefully you should be able to see that pretty good. Alright. But you have your lights. You have your medium tone colors in there. You got your deep set leaf in there. Okay, this is why I wasn't really too concerned with the clouds. A lot of it will be covered up anyway, but you still see those in between. You still see your branches even will be highlighted a little bit. You see your darker branches that are somewhat around the bush, the tree itself. You can see a lot of the shadow work from your trees, your bushes. Give you an example of the far away trees also. Alright. Let's peel, well, before I do that, let me do this while I still got some of this color on here and I still remember. The most important part of the painting, I guess, right? I seem to run out of white, but that's okay. I'll just use the yellow, whatever's left. And I'll throw a signature on here real quick. I'll put it up here by the tree. If you have any questions or any criticisms, don't be shy, let me know. Well, you'll be able to barely see that. It'd be kind of light, but that's okay. But I hope this tutorial helped you out. You can do these trees in many forms and fashions. You can use, like I showed you with the brush, you can use, I'm just cleaning up my palette here. You can use sponge, okay, whatever you feel that can help you out, making your leaves convincing. I just showed you one way, one variety. There's many more. You can be as quick with it or slow with it as you can. It depends on how much detail you want in your trees, and what type of trees you want, and all that good work, all that good stuff. Let's peel this off. Because it looks a little rough with the tape on it. This is another reason why I like to put borders on mine. Kind of neat, cleans it up a little bit, a lot neater. And plus, if you get a frame, it boxes it in quite nicely. Kind of a more of a professional look. Okay. And the bottom here. I do have it taped in the back. Well, there you have it. It's kind of a neater, clean look. Kind of boxes everything in really nice. Like I say, it's one of many ways to do deciduous trees. Okay, you can experiment with different brushes, different brush patterns, and have fun with it. Okay. There's also the weeping willow trees. You know, they're just going in a different direction. All that type of stuff. If you have any questions or any type of tree you want to be seen, you know, just drop a line either on the YouTube site or my Facebook page. All right. Once again, this is Anthony Gray. Welcome to Grayscale. I really hope you enjoyed this showing of how you do deciduous trees, and I'll see you soon. All right. God bless. Happy painting, and I'll see you next time.